Imagine waking up to discover that the leader of one of the world's most influential countries has suddenly stepped down. That's exactly what happened in the United Kingdom. The resignation of Prime Minister Keir Starmer has sent shockwaves through British politics and raised one critical question: what happens next? This wasn't just another political headline. It marked a turning point that could reshape Britain's economy, international relationships, and political future for years to come. So why did Britain's Prime Minister resign? And why does it matter to the rest of the world? Let's break it down. When Keir Starmer led the Labour Party to victory in the 2024 general election, millions of voters hoped for stability after years of political turbulence. His government promised economic growth, improvements to public services, and a fresh relationship with Europe while maintaining Britain's global influence. But governing proved far more difficult than campaigning. Britain continued to face economic pressures, rising living costs, challenges within the National Health Service, and increasing political pressure from both opposition parties and members of his own party. As public confidence declined, questions about the government's direction became louder. Political analysts began discussing whether Labour could continue under the same leadership. Eventually, Starmer announced that he would step down, bringing an unexpected chapter of British politics to an end. A resignation by a prime minister doesn't simply change one person at the top. It creates uncertainty throughout the government. Financial markets watch closely. International allies seek reassurance. Political parties begin preparing for the next phase. The United Kingdom remains one of the world's largest economies and a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. Its decisions influence global markets, NATO, European security, and international diplomacy. That's why political changes in London are closely followed across the world. Following the resignation, attention immediately shifted toward Britain's next leader. The new Prime Minister now faces enormous challenges: rebuilding public confidence, managing the economy, addressing inflation and public spending, maintaining Britain's relationships with Europe, the United States, and NATO allies. Every decision made over the coming months could influence Britain's political direction for years. Political transitions are rarely simple. History shows that leadership changes often become defining moments. Sometimes they restore confidence. Sometimes they trigger early elections. Sometimes they completely reshape a country's political landscape. Whether this resignation becomes a fresh beginning or the start of a deeper political crisis remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: Britain has entered a new political chapter. And the rest of the world is watching closely. For investors, businesses, and international partners, stability matters. For British citizens, the next government's policies could affect taxes, healthcare, jobs, housing, and everyday life. For global politics, Britain's voice remains highly influential. That's why this resignation is more than domestic news. It is an international story. The coming weeks will reveal whether Britain's new leadership can unite the country and deliver the stability many voters have been hoping for. Politics often changes gradually. Sometimes, however, history changes in a single day. This may prove to be one of those days. If you found this breakdown helpful and want clear explanations of the world's biggest political events, subscribe and join us for the next analysis. Because understanding politics means understanding the future.